Riverdesign Dayton, a revolutionary project for Dayton, Ohio. During the 1960s and 70s, Dayton, Ohio was beginning to transform its downtown through new development, including the construction of Interstate 75, slum clearance projects, and through an urban design project planned for the deserted river corridor along the Great Miami River, as pictured here. This project, entitled Riverdesign Dayton, is planned around the Great Miami River, which flows directly through the heart of downtown and was envisioned as a source of identity and recreation for the city. Unlike other renewal projects in Dayton, Ohio, Riverdesign Dayton was a unique project in its innovative designs and its main focus on citizen participation in the planning process. Development along the Great Miami River dates back to the turn of the century, with the Main Street Bridge built in 1892. Awarded for both the steel and concrete design of the bridge, this was the first time architecture was implemented and noticed in relation to the river that flew through the city. This map from 1913 shows the early development in Dayton, with the Main Street Bridge in red. This area of downtown occupies the future location of the Riverdesign Dayton project. As early as 1896, Mr. Patterson, the president of the National Cash Register Company, had a vision for the river corridor in his speech.
Miami River will form a lake and the riverbanks will be turned into parks. We shall have a zoological garden and a botanical garden, and free concert will be given by the city on Saturday afternoons during the summer.
As Dayton continued to develop into a manufacturing city, plans for the river corridor like these were in progress. With the Great Flood of 1913, however, developments in downtown and along the river were destroyed. The Great Flood of 1913 occurred on March 25, 1913, when a series of storms created too much water for the levees and led to a massive flood, as seen here on 4th Street. The flood also destroyed Steele High School. At the time, it was the second largest high school in the nation. This map shows the damage throughout the city, where the darker shaded areas were covered in water. The dark shaded area along the river includes the future site for Riverdesign Dayton. The importance of the Great Flood of 1913 on Riverdesign Dayton was the increased attention it brought to the Great Miami River. Mr. Patterson, the man standing in the floodwater in the top hat, once again had an impact on the river by donating money to implement a new system of levees and dams. The other immediate impact the flood brought to Dayton was the formation of the Miami Conservancy District in 1915. They implemented better engineered levees and dams, but their overall goal on conserving the river's corridors is what led the district to be the contracting agency to the Riverdesign Dayton project 55 years later. During the Great Depression, little development occurred along the river's corridors. However, post-war planning brought new money and new ideas to Dayton, starting with the construction of Interstate 75 and the Slum Clearance Project. The Slum Clearance Project, Project Plan Number 1, included new residential, light industrial, and commercial development for Dayton's white middle class. The project was to be built on the existing lower-income housing, marked as slums, based on the dilapidation of the building, failed sanitation, and the building's nonconformance with local building and health regulations. Since the housing was seen as a slum, the city cleared the housing for this new project. 15 years later, the city invested more money on Dayton through a different type of project than Project Plan Number 1. In 1967, Dayton hosted an urban design conference welcoming urban planners, architects, and landscape architects. As a direct result from the conference, Dayton was inspired to use the ideas and designs discussed, and a river committee to beautify Dayton was established. The first thing the committee did was hire landscape architect Dan Kiley to help with the Great Miami River study, where he created innovative designs such as this drawing for the river corridor. Along with his designs, the importance of Kiley's survey was his identification of the downtown portion of the river's corridor, which he labeled as the key stretch of the river corridor, ranging approximately 4.5 miles long. Realizing that this is the key stretch and where development needs to occur, the committee hired a team of architects for the project. This is when the Great Miami River study evolved into the project Riverdesign Dayton. To help with the organization of the key stretch, the committee split up the 4.5 miles into 6 different zones. Zone 1, starting at the top, or the most northern part of the river, and Zone 6 at the bottom, or the most southern part of the river.